Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more than the meta. So guys, I want to talk about a very toxic offense that I ran into. I believe it's out of the Kansas City playbook based on the plays they were set. I think there's only like two different playbooks that actually has this. It's either Washington or Kansas City. So it's got to be Kansas City because it is kind of a meta stuff. This guy is a 500 player, just basically a 35 out of 30. It took me about a minute to get matched up, so I'm assuming they just dropped off a game to me because I couldn't get a good match. But this guy actually had a very toxic offense. It's got to be Ebook just because it's just his reads and decisions were very precise and he was breaking the coverages. So it has to be an Ebook. So guys, I want to show you this offensive scheme and how I defended against it and how I struggled to defend against it with my match coverage. Now I do want to give a shout out to the following people that commented. Wizzle7162, do you use zone drops? No, I typically do not use zone drops to do a lot of match coverages because a lot of players have a hard time with it. However, I would use a zone drop in a third and long situation, fourth and long situation where a person is forced to get maybe 18 or 20 yards. I could use zone drops then because then they have to get a 20-yard completion and I can let my defensive line do their work. So that's probably the only time I do that. Peyton Kiefer 9814. What tune best play pre-adjustments? I'm assuming these are how you set up your adjustments. Typically what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and set up my adjustments where I'm using match coverage. I'm going to be conservative against the QB option, conservative tackle, and then I use baseline. Those are my pre-adjustments. So let's go ahead and jump into this gameplay. And I'm going to show you basically some of the things that this guy's offense that he was doing. It was kind of driving me nuts. Setting up my offense, once again, I like to use cover 9, show 2 as one of my base audibles. Hard flats, cover 3 is my other audible, and then cover 4 palms. And I come out of cover 6 as my base defense just to get a feel for what my opponent's going to do because I like to cover 9 and cover 6 against anybody that likes to run a lot. So this is the offense that he's using right here. This offense is basically a tight open formation, and he was doing two different things with me. So he was streaking up this guy. He actually has a corner route. He would have like another corner route over here to take a stick and then a flat route. And this is his read. He was breaking my defense with this corner route over here based on how it was set up. The other set he was using mesh as a set, and he'd have a deep dig. And then basically this guy would come down and sit in the middle, and then he's got the wheel route. Now he beat me on mesh in multiple different areas. So it was a good play to go ahead and blend into it, but it wasn't until after he established some stuff. You also did a read option. So he'd actually have a kind of a read option, which he would jump into as his base play. So those are the 3 plays that we showed you on the thumbnail. And let's just go ahead and watch this while I was working it. So I didn't really have any kind of particular defense that I was running against him. I just wanted to get a feel for it. You could see he misses this. He threw the ball a little bit too late. He had to wait for his route progressions to happen. But you could see he goes into bench Z spot as his adjustment. So back to the gun tight open again. Once again, I know that like a corner streak route actually does this. So I come into cover 3. I've got hard flats. I've got this guy coming up. I'm playing into the box. I've got this, I've got this, I've got the flat, and I've got a corner route right here. So my responsibility is to play the seam, and then I've got to go ahead and if the seam carries, I've got to protect against it, but I've also got to go ahead and peel off to the corner route. So, you know, you got a lot of stuff that can happen underneath you, so that's one of the things you got to be concerned about. So you can see I'm actually kind of playing the seam, and then this combination right here is pretty much locked up. He's got leverage with this guy right here. This is locked up, and his corner route is actually getting picked up. But because of this rock combination, you could see that this guy's streaking, and then this guy's got this corner route. This is what he's pushing the corner route. He's going to pick this up later on. So he's a 3rd and 10 situation, so his timing is not right. But his reads are right. He's making right decisions against this coverage because basically this bench Z spot is the stem of this route really gets out there, gets deep, and it kind of messes up the coverage assignment. So right here, I think what I do is still stay in cover 6. He goes into gun tight wide open. And what I do is I try to go ahead and make an adjustment. I think I might have jumped into basically cover 9. So cover 9 with the expectation that this guy's going to fall into the passing lane. But look what I did. I inadvertently pushed my line back here, and I rolled my coverage over here, leaving basically these blockers getting all leverage against these two defenders. So I've got basically double teams right here, and I'm pulling my guys down. This is not a good situation. He sees me out of position. He actually does a read option. This is going to freeze one of my defenders, and you can see the double teams going on right now. These guys are coming up and double teaming, and I've got to go ahead and get my guy down in the box. So I just totally messed up my defense, and right here actually gets a good read. I click on, and actually he does a little move. Singletary's a slow running back. He's not a good running back. I think he's like 86 speed. This guy's running like he's 93. So he gets me a big run on a 3rd and 10. He went for 3rd and 10, dude. That's like, you know, that's ballsy. But he read the coverage correctly. He read the positioning of the defensive line. So there was high level Madden to go ahead and do a read option like that. So this guy purchased the ebook based on his record being 35 and 30. He barely a 500 player. There's going to be a reason why he's a barely a 500 player, as you can see later on in this game. So I'm going with cover 9. Once again, I've got a hard flat. I'm going to go and shift my line over. I'm going to go ahead and user this guy to go ahead and take any kind of pass. And I'm going to lock this guy up man-to-man coverage. So I want to go ahead and take away any kind of running lanes, shift up my running lanes correctly. And my responsibility is to look for any guys that carry over deep, because that's my responsibility, is to cover the deep route. So let's go ahead and set this up. Run the play. I think he just does an off-tackle run here. If I recall correctly, he's got the clock chewing down. No, he actually goes with this play. So you could see this guy's matched up. So this is covered up. He's got 2 routes going. He's got a route under, and he's got a route over. I got to take the over route. This is the threat for a touchdown. So I've got to go and take the over route. I read my coverage correctly. He gets a defender right in his face, but C.J. Stroud is actually a really good quarterback. He checks it down to underneath guy, flips it up, and actually picks up 6 yards on a play that should have been dead. So really good decision making. He checked down. You got to hand it to this guy. So gun tied out open once again. So I think this is the first time that actually he goes ahead and runs this defense. So he actually goes into a nice little run play. Get him at a 3rd and 6 right here. And he takes a delay of game. So now he's a 3rd and 11. So he just has some bad clock management. He's back in this tight open formation again. And right here, I bunch up the line. Probably should have shifted the line off this way just so I could get better leverage against the run, because basically the previous play was a 3rd and 10. He's able to get a run. And right here, I go ahead and man this guy up right here. And I man this guy up right here. So if there's any kind of a switch, really probably the smart thing to do is to man this guy right here and man this guy up here, and you got a better switch type situation. So if this guy comes and does a corner, you've got a better switch off right there. So got this play set up, and he goes into mesh. First time he shows me mesh the entire game, just hits me with a little dragger. Guys are out of position, and he picks up a ton of yards, a 20-yard gainer off of a quick mesh play, showing me a mesh spot. Just a hard play to stop. You know, it's a quick snapper's dream, and I didn't really have a really good defense set up to go and stop that. So that was really just a bad decision by me to do that. Now he goes into trip. So I've got, 1, 2, 3. Typically when I see trips formation, I'm going to go and put a hard flat out here. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy into a deep 3rd. And then I'll slide my line over for leverage to take away that. And I'm going to user this guy, and my responsibility is number 3. So if the number 3 comes over the middle field, that's my responsibility. And I've got basically three defenders on the backside to take away any kind of route combinations out there. So set up the defense really quick, slide everything over, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to defend against the run. Got my defense set up. Just waiting for him to snap the ball. He snaps the ball, he goes for the run play, and you can see I'm actually coming out trying to defend this gap right here. He's got 2 blockers to me. He decides to cut the ball in and goes right into my defensive tackle and takes basically a no gainer right there. So 2nd and 10 situation, got him in an I form close. And when I see I form close, I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. I've got no problem with it. I'm just going to go and take my line, slide it over this way, rotate this guy over. I'll man this dude up, and then I'm going to go ahead and user this guy, put him down into the box, and I'll shoot this gap or actually slide over to go ahead and take away those gap responsibilities. So I actually bunch my guys up, roll over my coverage. He goes to the opposite side, and you can see there's nowhere for him to go. Basically, everything is just locked up. He has nowhere to go with it. Gets a 3rd and 10. I put him in another 3rd and 10 situation. So now he goes back to the gun tight open. This is my nemesis. This is the offense that I'm having a hard time with. I think what I did in this type of situation, did I go into cover 9 or went into palms? So basically it went into palms type coverage. I think what it is, I bunched my lineup this way, and I'm dropping a hard flat back out here. Smart responsibility is to put this guy into deep third. I want to prevent any kind of a corner route going to the backside. And I'm going to go ahead and use your Thomas over the middle of the field. He's doing a concept like this, where this is kind of a wheel, this is a post, and then I've got basically kind of a drag route underneath. I don't know what the other 2 routes are, but I just play in the middle of the field, and he actually throws it shallow. That should have been an interception. Warner should have picked that should have been picked off right there. That was one of the worst reads he made the entire game. Everything else has been crystal clear, but he's got slap posts, he's got an in route. Got rid of that ball a little bit too late. So goes into gun Y flex, and basically what he does is I'm going to go ahead and set this defense up once again. I've got basically a flat route over here, deep third, and then I'm going to motion these guys over. I've got cubing contains just in case he gets out, and then I've got these guys right here in their route combinations. I think what I did too is I went ahead and rolled my guy out. So you can see the coverage is out there. Rolling the guy is out. So he's going empty against me. And I'm concerned about this because I don't like empty sets. That, it usually breaks down. Quarter barrel will take off, but 4th and 10 is kind of hard to get. He's going basically with a levels concept, and he's got this in, and I think, I don't know what he was doing, but he's got a corner route on the backside. So I've got that corner route actually should be picked up right here, and actually throws right towards my user, and I'm just trailing to the outside. He throws right at my user. He gets a nice little completion, gets the ball into the end zone. So good decision by him, good route progressions. Forced it into my user, but I pulled myself out of position because I was moving forward, and he's able to go ahead and get himself a touchdown. So second series, basically a minute and 42 seconds left. He comes out of deuce close. And anytime I see deuce close, I stay in my cover 6, and this is my responsibility. I'm going to go ahead and man up these 2 guys. I take the middle linebackers and man them up. Sometimes I'll do a zone drop, or I'll put this guy into basically a QB contain. And I'm going to use this guy because I know basically the sidelines are protected. So we're going to set this up. This is the coverage. I bunch up my line. Probably should have took the line and actually go ahead and motion this side because that's where the strength of the formation's at and where the running back has to go too. It's not like there's any counters in this. I think they might have a split play, but just waiting for this defense. This guy sat on this play for a while. You could see the clock just chewing down. I don't know if it was a psychological thing that he was doing or he was just setting something up, but he just did an inside zone right there. So I get him into basically 2nd and 8. You pick up 2 yards off that. That probably should have been less. Goes into tight, open. Right here, I actually go ahead and set this up. So here's my defensive setup. I've got a hard flat out here. This should be a deep third. I don't get that adjustment in. I've got this line shifted off to try to protect against the run, and my responsibility is to kind of play in the middle of the field and muddy things up. But I don't have a deep third out. So I think he jumps into the corner route right here, and he's able to go and complete that with a completion right there. So he waited for that route to develop correctly, and he's able to go ahead and no huddle me. Same situation. He's got this set up. I'm going to go ahead and set this up, but I don't think I got this guy into a deep third. He goes into mesh. So he's got this concept. He's got a deep dig. He's got the little stick right here, and he's got the wheel. So watch what happens. My guy pulls off, and I've got single coverage out of position, and he lobs the ball up and gets a huge play to get the ball on the other side of the field. So this is going to slow this down a little bit. I'll show you what happens. I didn't have my defense set up correctly. This guy should be in a deep third. You should be in a deep third. But he was still on palm, so he's Meg. On the 3 wide receiver side, he's Meg. So in other words, that man everywhere he goes, he's going to follow this guy who's basically doing like this little stick route. He's going to follow and get himself out of position, leaving the top of this coverage wide open. And because I'm playing down in the box, it didn't work very well, but you could see he sees it. He knows where he's going. He's rolling this way. Everything else is pretty locked up. I've got this all locked up. I just don't have protection over the top. And as a result, he's able to go ahead and just hit me over the top and get a big play. So because I did not have that deep third out there, that's what happened in that type of situation. Basically, he penalized me with that particular play. And I didn't have my defense set up. Just to let you guys know, I actually have found a more effective way to stop the scheme, so I'll share that with you guys, or how you can get access to it. So bunch up the line once again. He's got the strength of formation on this side of the field. Basically, you're going to go ahead and lock this guy up right here and just look for anything that's kind of coming over the middle of the field. So that's my responsibility, is to kind of protect over the middle field. He jumps into this play right here, and I don't even remember exactly what this play was. What was annoying about this guy is that he would just sit and not make any, like he took a long time to set things up, or sometimes he would just sit in a play for a while. So he goes into a mesh play. That should have been an interception by Bosa. Bosa fell out to that. But it is good because it's a 2nd and 9 situation. So he actually checked the underneath with the mesh concept, and I'm able to go ahead and get him a quick tackle. So goes back into this play once again. I've got basically a soft squat out here, but I've also put myself a hard flat, a deep shell, and then I've got basically box going on over here with this. And he goes into read option, and I'm the wrong guy. I'm actually making adjustments, and I actually fall on my ass. He goes to the outside and cuts it in with Singletary. So this guy got a really good play, man. That was just a good run. This guy's getting a lot out of Singletary. Singletary's not that good of a running back. He's not fast. He's making some good reads. So right here, it is the final series of this game. And this is where he comes back into this tight formation. So you know he could be doing a couple different things. He can do the streak corner, or he can do mesh, where he's got these 2 guys doing this. Those are my 2 plays I'm really worried about more than anything else. So I'm just trying to play this correctly. He goes into mesh. He takes a shot up top. I've got a defender in the area to make a play in the ball. He actually comes back and tries to get aggressive catch it. That could have been picked off, but also that could have been a TD because he did have leverage against my guys. So it was good defense by me, but also it was a good read. So basically what he did is, I think he had the end, but he streaked up his guy over the top. So that's just high-level Madden, man. This guy's definitely working an ebook, because the decisions he was making was high-level Madden type stuff. That just wasn't something that you normally see a lot of players do. So setting up a defense again, I think what I did is I did man coverage. So I manned up these guys correctly, and he's doing basically mesh mesh once again, and he actually checks it down. Corner's out of position. He picked up 9 yards. If he's taking chunks of yards like that, he can just keep on doing that. This defense, the way I was running my defense, was not stopping mesh spot. So I got to go with a different type of defense. So now I go ahead, switch up my defense. I'm actually shuffling around right now, and he basically goes with a run play, and you can see just kind of his dude was just bouncing off of my dude. So he was getting some really good running with his defense. So I form close. This is a formation that he did not have a lot of success with me, so I should be jumping. I basically flipped the cover 6, slid my guys over, and you could see right here, he got some yards out of nothing. That should have been basically 2nd and 10, or should have been basically 2nd and 11. He did pick up some pretty good yards. Now he goes into spread double flex weak. I don't think he jumps in this play at all. And then I think what I do is, typically when I'm in a formation that I'm not familiar with, I'm going to go in the palms just to go ahead and just see what he does. He goes into basically a screenplay. I read it correctly. I typically do not read screenplays against opponents live. So in that type of situation, I'm able to go and get him in a 3rd and 9. Now I get cute. Usually I got to stick with my nickel over, but I figured I'd change things up against him. And I go into the Okie roll 2 and get my guys down. And basically what I'm playing is just playing a cover 2 coverage. And I'm going to user the defensive back over the middle of the field. I've got match coverage. So this guy should match right here. You should match right here. He should match right here. He should match right here. My responsibility is to play the 3. So if these guys go vertical, they're going to go ahead and match vertical. But guess what he jumps into? He jumps into basically this route combination. He's got this streak. He's got the corner streak combination. He jumps into that correctly, and then my dude basically covered with that, getting my other guy out of position. And he actually completes it. So he caught his timing down after this a couple times, but he goes back to his bench Z spot, and that play was just basically just causing a lot of issues against me, making it difficult. So good defense right there. So now he goes back into tight open offense, and I press my guys down. I man this guy up with the anticipation that he might come over the top, and I've got this guy. And if he wants to go over the top, I've got protection with this 3rd right here. This guy is going to protect over the middle of the field. Got vert hooks, soft squat over here. This is not the best defense, but I figured I need to go ahead and try to take away that corner route because he's hit me with that a couple different times. Rotate my defense over. He runs the ball and picks up a couple yards right there. So I get a pretty stout defense, but he still picks up 3 yards, which is not the ideal situation. Goes into bunch, strong, nasty. This is all that meta stuff that you see online. You know, all these top players are using online. So I go ahead and set this up, shift my line over. I'm going to hard flat this guy. I got this guy into a soft squat over the top coverage. And I think what I did is I matched this guy up, and I might have pressed the coverage in this type of situation. I'm trying to press. Yep, so I'm trying to press right here, and I'm thinking what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to blitz this guy. I haven't blitzed this guy at all. I haven't sent 5 at all, and I'm trying to blitz. My responsibility is to look for any of these guys that carry over the middle of the field. I'm leaving this flat wide open, but he hasn't really hit me on that side of the flat at all. So now he actually takes a shot up top, and I get a beautiful play by my CPU man. This guy actually picked him off, and because this guy was basically, I was scoring effectively against him, 17 points already. This was a huge play for him. He felt the pressure of my offense, and he ends up rage quitting out. So rage quits out. It was a good play by him. The guy's a really, really good opponent. But look at the score. Look at this record. This guy's 35-30. And he's played better than people that have played 7 times as many or 10 times as many games. I played guys that played 700, 800 games. This guy's offense was tight. It had to be Ebook, guys. So this guy was running some type of Ebook. Guys, if you want, I went into the lab. I got into this offense, and I was just like, what? I got to figure out a way to do this. I got to set up. If you're interested in seeing a setup, you can go to my Patreon. I'm going to have this I'll probably put this defense up so you guys can see it, but it's a structure to go and stop this scheme down and throw your opponent off. Is it going to stop an opponent 100 times a time, 100 times out of the 100 times? No, but it's going to go ahead and make him make bad decisions and give you an opportunity for interception. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. I really appreciate your support. Until next time.